So what I have done is I've made two different columns, solutions and suspensions. So with solutions, the drug is completely dissolved in alcohol or water, and it should not separate. So I don't know if oil and water, that is a separation of two different things. Or when you have something that dissolves completely in the water, but then later it just settles at the bottom, that would be a suspension. A solution should not separate. If it is separating by leaving it alone for a little while, what that means is that it's expired or you can't use it anymore. So if you go to a suspension, they are incapable of completely dissolving like the solution is. So tiny particles or droplets are suspended throughout the liquid, which means that they can separate. So all you would have to do with a suspension would be to shake it up completely, and that's what would help in a suspension. So solution should not separate. Everything is dissolved completely, even after sitting for a while, whereas suspensions, they can definitely separate and they just need to be mixed after a while. So let's just turn our attention completely over to this column that I have. We have a tincture. So I'm just going to highlight it so I know which ones we've gone through. So a tincture is very potent medication. What that means is that 10 is a new word, I made it up. 10 to 20% of the mixture is going to be the actual active ingredient in alcohol or alcohol plus water. So an example of a tincture would be tincture of iodine. So that is what a tincture is. And I found it really helpful to Google some of these things to see exactly how they're administered and what they look like. Okay, so fluid extract. So a fluid extract is an alcohol extract from plants. This is the most potent of all liquid preparations. So an example of this would be Cascara Sagrada aromatic fluid extract. Long word, but all in all, this is a laxative. So that's what a fluid extract is. So although a tincture is potent, a fluid extract is going to be much more potent. An elixir is an alcohol plus water plus 10 to 20% drug. So an elixir is something that you've probably seen quite often. This is what makes medication more sweet, it's more likable by little kids. It's easier to take it because it's sweetened. So Benadryl elixir, the fluid, it's like purple and it's a little bit sweetened, that would be considered an elixir. The next one I always found was kind of weird, a spirit. A spirit is alcohol solution of volatile oils, so 5 to 10% active ingredient. And then a peppermint, an example would be peppermint spirit. And a peppermint spirit, it's in your book. What it does is it helps you to dissolve the gas in your intestines when you take it. So a syrup, this is very common drug that you'll see on the shelves. It's a heavy solution of water and sugar and flavoring. This is my favorite part. Up to 85% sugar. That is a lot of sugar. So when you're taking a cough syrup, most of it is sugar, even though you can still taste the grossness behind it. Okay, so now we're going to our suspensions. So an emulsion is oil plus fat in water plus the emulsifying agent. So you can see right away, oil plus fat in water, why it's going to be a suspension and not a solution, because oil and water and fat and water do not mix together. So an example would be cod liver oil. So we'll just highlight that really quick so we know we've done it. So a magma is a heavy particle mixed with water, and it looks like a milky fluid. So I don't know if any of you have seen it, but milk of magnesia, that is a very common magma, and it really does look milky. I had a patient, a psych patient, who was very addicted to this, and we had to keep him away from it because he'd drink a whole bottle and then end up in the hospital. Poor guy. It was not a fun addiction to have. So then we have our gels. So gels are very similar to a magma. However, they have finer particles than the heavy particles that a magma contains, and it has water. So another one would be Alternagel. So a liniment is an external application used to relieve pain. So these are very common and they're very smelly, like Bengay is an example. And then we have lotions. So a lotion is a suspension of a drug in water for external use. So a lot of people think that lotions need to be rubbed into the skin. However, it needs to be patted onto the skin. So examples of lotions would be protective, astringents, or antipyretics. So you can see like Benadryl, the cream that helps you save your life when you have tons of mosquito bites, that's what a lotion can help you with. An aerosol, if any of you have asthma, that is a way, that is something that you would probably have used before, but it's an inhalant. So it's something that you put in your mouth and inhale, and the medication will go down into the lungs where their action takes place. So that is the difference between solutions and suspensions.